Hello everyone and welcome to the final book haul of December. However, there will be one or two book hauls, but they will be library sale book hauls. So I am classifying those just a little bit differently. So non-library sale book hauls, this is the final one of December. So let's go ahead and just delve right on in. So I have the second book in, I believe the series is called Hockey Gods. Let me see, does it say? It does not. So yeah, this is book number 2. It follows different, oh wait, in the back here. Romantic suspense, dark reverse harem, mafia, dark bully. Yes, Hockey Gods. There are, now I did order the next 2 because I absolutely love the first one. So there's 4 books out so far. The 5th book doesn't come out until, I think, is it November? But I think in 2024 later on in the year. But book number 2 is Devious Obsession, and this is by S. Massery. And these are companion books because they do follow different characters. So book number 1 followed Grayson and Violet. This one we are following Steele and... what is her name? Let's see, it doesn't say on the back. Aspen. So book number 1 followed, so the men are involved in hockey, the girls involved in different things. Book number 1, Violet was involved in ballet. This one has to do with music. And the start of each chapter is black. And this is Aspen's chapter, and it has piano. So I'm guessing she plays the piano, which that's what an instrument I learned to play when I started playing when I was 5 years old. If you want to stay, you have to play the game. Steele O'Brien is everything I hate in hockey players. He's cocky, brooding, antagonistic. And these are very, very spicy and very dark. Book 1 had knife play, blood play. She had a safe word that she didn't use, even when they acted like it was unconsensual sex because she didn't use the safe word. In the book, it was like it's actually consensual, type of a thing. So, and very, very, very steamy. Okay, continuing on with the synopsis, it says, I played his game, learned his secrets, but that was before I found out he's my new stepbrother. Okay, so we've got a stepbrother romance. Now we're at college together and I can't escape him or his demons. It seems that for him, the game isn't over. He says I'm his to play with, his to torment, and he's determined not to only get under my skin, but carve his name into it. So I'm sure this will be dark as well. There is a letter from the author in here. This is a dark bully romance. Steele is not a hero. Please be aware if you have triggers that are common to dark romance / bully romance, this story checks quite a few of those boxes, including dubious consent, consensual non-consent, somnophilia. I don't know what that is. I'm going to have to look that up. Primal play, mental, physical, emotional bullying, and voyeurism. There's also brief mentions of child abuse. So, there you go. This next one I will not read the synopsis for, and that's because this is book number 2 in the 12 in the Fear Street Sagas books. And I don't want to spoil anything because I have not read the Fear Street Saga books. If I did, it was only like the first 3 at the most. I don't really recall. But where these are actually numbered, I am assuming they're going to follow the same characters. At least the first couple of books do. I don't know how later on in the series if this switches to different characters or not. So I will not read the synopsis. The tagline is, Can she defeat the evil? So, by R.L. Stine. And I'm looking for the last couple, and they are several $100s. I am not paying that. Like, I think one of them was almost $1,000. there is no way I'm paying that. I don't care if it's in mint condition. No freaking way. No. All right, let's go ahead and move on. These next 2 books are actually ones that I bought my mom for Christmas, and she is no longer interested in these books. And I am filming this on December 27th. When I bought these books, I looked on her Goodreads page to see what she had marked that she was interested in. So I went off of that. So it's understandable, you know, you think you're interested in something and then however long passes and then you're not interested in it anymore. So she's gave these to me. And then I will come back in a bit and explain a little bit more. But we did make a trip to Barnes & Noble. That's all I'll say. So I got her The Hours. This is winner of the Pulitzer Prize by Michael Cunningham. And there's actually a movie adaptation to this. I do remember seeing it, and I can see the character's face. I'm blanking on her name. She's been in quite a few movies. Mamma Mia, The Hours. She played the witch in Through the Woods, or Into the Woods, whatever the title is. Blanking on her name. Anyway, let's see. The Hours is a story of 3 women. Clarissa Vaughn, who one New York morning goes about planning a party in honor of a beloved friend. Laura Brown, who in a 1950s Los Angeles suburb slowly begins to feel the constraints of a perfect family and home. And Virginia Woolf, recuperating with her husband in a London suburb and beginning to write Mrs. Dalloway. By the end of the novel, the stories have intertwined and finally come together in an act of subtle and haunting grace. So, still not quite sure what it's about. I have seen the movie, but it's been a long time. So, yeah. The other book that I got her that she's no longer interested in, it does have a thing on here saying it's the winner of the Nobel Prize in Literature, and that is The Buried Giant by Kazuo Ishiguro. In post-Arthurian Britain, the wars that once raged between the Saxons and the Britons have finally ceased. Axel and Beatrice, an elderly British couple, set off to visit their son, whom they haven't seen in years, and because a strange mist has caused mass amnesia throughout the land, they can scarcely remember anything about him. As they are joined on their journey by a Saxon warrior, his orphan charge, and an illustrious knight, Axel and Beatrice slowly begin to remember the dark and troubled past they all share, by turns savage, suspenseful, and intensely moving. So, there we go. So yeah, she's letting me have those, and I actually did get her 2 different books. This next one is one that I won from Goodreads, and this is an ARC, so an advanced reader's copy, and this is Union Station, a John Russell novel by David Downing, and this is like number 17 in the series. I do own the first book, but yeah, I more than likely either wasn't paying attention or it was not clear. One of the two. More than likely I was not paying attention to notice that it was later on in the series. So because of that, I will not read the synopsis since it is so far later in the series. This next one I got because there is a book club I want to participate in. There's a lot of stuff I want to participate in. Will I be able to read everything? No, but we'll do my best. This gives me a lot of options, and Zach is the name of the person hosting. Rise Reads, I believe is what this one's called. Anyway, the book, we were told January, February, and March selections. I don't remember which one this one is for, but this is The Last Word by Taylor Adams. I tried to read No Exit and DNF'd it. I do want to try it again, My problem with No Exit is that I was listening to the audiobook along with reading it physically, and there's a lot of parts where they are very different. So with that in mind, I'm only going to read. I will not listen to the audiobook when I read anything by this author. Emma Carpenter is living in isolation with her golden retriever Lakia, house-sitting an old beachfront home on the rainy Washington coast. Her only human contact is with her enigmatic elderly neighbor, Deke, and via text with the house's owner, Jules. One day, she reads a poorly written but gruesome horror novel by the author H.G. Cain and posts a 1-star review that drags her into an online argument with none other than the author himself. Soon after, disturbing incidents start to occur at night. To Emma, this can't just be a coincidence. It was strange enough for this author to bicker with her online about a lousy review. Could he be stalking her too? As Emma digs into Cain's life and work, she learns he has published 16 other novels, all similarly sadistic tales of stalking and murder. But who is he? How did he find her, and what else is he capable of? So, the last word. This next one is another one that I won from Goodreads. This one, I did not tell you, the Union Station, this February is the expected release date. It does not have an exact date on there. It just says February 2024. This one does say February 13th of 2024. And this is an ARC. This is another one that I won from Goodreads. And this is Fish Out of Water by Codi Ruggle. When Dahlia Weathersby's sister disappears on what should have been a simple day hike, Dahlia immediately heads deep into the Colorado Rockies to find her. Knowing she'll never survive the mountains alone, she convinces the local hermit, adorably grouchy survival expert Winston Dane, to be her guide. All it takes is a good helping of Dahlia's charm and just the teensiest bit of blackmail before she's got all 6 foot something of him wrapped around her finger. But even with her very own mountain man in tow, things aren't going to be easy. They are. Long hikes through gorgeous wildernesses? Check. Bears? Check. A single shared sleeping bag? Check. Enough sparks to set the Rockies ablaze? Check, check, check. With everything in the wilderness has to throw at him, it'll take more than charm and some city girl ingenuity to make this trek anything but a disaster waiting to happen and an adventure she'll never forget. So, these next 3 I got from Amazon with a gift card that I got for Christmas from my aunt. So, and that is to complete a series, and that is the City of Sisterly Love. These are companion novels, but you do need to read them in order. So I will not read the synopsis of these, but I have book number 4, which is Daulton, and they are steamy. And then book number 5 is About Last Night, Knight. And then I have a novella, which is Quiet Night. So, okay, so the rest of the stack that I now have out is all from Barnes & Noble. I got some money for Christmas, so I went and used my thing. Plus, I wanted to take my mom. I let her pick out 2 books to replace the 2 that she was no longer interested in, so I got her 2 new books so that she is interested in at this time. So, and then I just spent some of my money that I got for Christmas. So I do have this one on my Kindle, but I really wanted a physical copy of this because it's for a read-along. And this is a nonfiction, Greenlights by Matthew McConaughey. So it's a memoir. It's got pictures on the inside dust jacket. Just keep living. That's what it says on the back. So yeah, so this is just going to be about his life. So there's really not much to say. So it's just about his life. So I did get another nonfiction, another memoir, and this one I got because of the show that I absolutely loved growing up, which was Full House. Still love that show. This one's John Stamos. So if you would have told me, so I absolutely had to get this one. And then there's the back. So 2 memoirs or autobiographies or biographies or whatever. At least 1 memoir. Not sure what this one's officially tagged as, but yeah. So I'm looking forward to those. The rest are all fiction. This one is, I won't read the synopsis for because it is part of a series, and this is actually a prequel, and I've been wanting this one for a bit, and this is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. This is the prequel to the Hunger Games trilogy. I have read the Hunger Games. I do want to reread the Hunger Games, but if I'm going to reread it, I want to start with the prequel. So I've got this one, and I think this follows, if I remember right, Snow, is that his name? Yes, Cornelius Snow, before he was the guy that we know him as in the Hunger Games. So, yeah. Next, I have, the last couple of times I have been to Barnes & Noble, I have picked this book up and then I put it down going, not today, not today. I thought, you know what, I've picked this book up a couple of times since I've been in there, so let's go ahead and get it. And so I did Slewfoot by, it says, A Tale of Bewitchery. Who is this by? Brom? And there's pictures in here, and these pictures are kind of creepy. Abatha. Sky. An ancient spirit awakens in a dark wood. The wild folk call him Father, Slayer, Protector. The colonists call him Slewfoot, Demon, Evil. To Abatha, a recently widowed outcast, alone and vulnerable in her pious village, he is the only one she can turn to for help. Together they ignite a battle between pagan and Puritan, one that threatens to destroy the entire village, leaving nothing but ashes and bloodshed in its wake. So I picked this up a couple of times, and I finally thought, you know what, I keep getting drawn to this book, let's do it. So I got it. Next up I have Legion by William Peter and Blatty, or it's just, oh, that is the whole full name. William Peter Blatty, not quite sure. Does have other books out, so, but this one is Legion. It's a very shiny cover, so I'm trying to hold this at an angle. It says, a young boy is found horribly murdered in a mock crucifixion. Is the murderer the elderly woman who witnessed the crime? A neurologist who can no longer bear the pain life inflicts on its victims? A psychiatrist with a macabre, it's either macabre or macabre, I don't know. It has an R, my mom thinks the R is silent, I don't know. With a macabre sense of humor and a guilty secret. So I'm going with what my mom thinks on that. A mysterious mental patient locked in silent isolation. Lieutenant Kinderman follows a bewildering trail that links all these people, confronting new enigmas at every turn, even as more murders occur. Why does each victim suffer the same dreadful mutilations? Why are 2 priests among the dead? Is there a connection between these crimes and another series of murders that took place 12 years ago? One that supposedly ended with the death of the killer. So, Legion. Next, I have The Dark King by Gina L. Maxwell. Another very shiny cover, but there you go. For Brian Mira, a free trip to the exclusive and ultra-luxe Nightfall Hotel and Casino in Vegas should have been the perfect way to escape the debris of her crumbling career. But waking up from a martini and lust-fueled night to find herself married to Caden Varan, the reclusive billionaire who owns a hotel and most of the city, isn't the jackpot one would think. It seems her dark and sexy new husband is actual royalty, the Fae King of the Night Court, and there's an entire world beneath the veil of Vegas. Whether light or shadow, the Fae are a far cry from fairy tales, and now they've made Bryn a pawn in their dark games for power, and Caden is the most dangerous of all. An intoxicating cocktail of sin and raw, insatiable hunger. She should run, but every night of passion pulls Bryn deeper into his strange and sinister world until she's no longer certain she wants to leave, even if she could. So, The Dark King. So again, there's the cover. Next up, still had a lot of the Christmas books. These books are centered around Christmas. So, and this cover was just really cute, and I like the title, Along Came Holly, by Codi Hall. So, looks like Codi has a couple of other Christmas ones out. Nick and Noelle's Christmas Playlist, and There's Something About Mary. And then there's a little cat on the back. Have a holly jolly Christmas. Holly Winters owns the jolliest holiday shop on Main Street, and this season is shaping up to be the best yet. The only pit in her figgy pudding? Declan Gallagher, the owner of the hardware store next door. He's the scroogiest man in all of Mistletoe, Idaho, and doesn't care about dumping coal all over someone else's most wonderful time of the year. When Holly's revenge prank escalates into an all-out war with her Grinchy neighbor, she finds herself in a sticky situation when she realizes she needs his help. Declan can't believe the nerve of his oh-so-cheerful neighbor hiring him to set up her holiday lights display, but the money is too good to pass up. Despite his utter loathing of excessive decorations, he throws himself into getting the job done, only to encounter sabotage at every turn. To his astonishment, Declan finds himself championing the very woman who used to get under his skin, and one rooftop kiss has him thinking maybe the season's traditions aren't as heinous as he believed. Declan's heart has grown 3 sizes since Holly came along, but how can he admit he's falling for the one woman he shouldn't want? That sounds really cute. Okay, next up, what drew me in is the title, because it's a book that has to do with books, specifically publishing, but by the book. This is written by Jasmine Goillory? Sorry, I know I'm saying that wrong. It says this is a meant-to-be novel, but by the book. Sometimes to truly know a person, you have to read between the lines. Isabel is completely lost. When she first began her career in publishing after college, she did not expect to be 25, still living at home, and one of the few black employees at her publishing house. So I imagine this is going to touch on racism within the publishing industry. Overworked and underpaid, constantly torn between speaking up or stifling herself, Izzy thinks there must be more to this publishing life. So when she overhears her boss complaining about a beastly high-profile author who has failed to deliver his long-awaited manuscript, Isabel sees an opportunity to prove her worth and finally get the recognition she deserves. All she has to do is go to the author's Santa Barbara mansion and give him a pep talk or 3. How hard could it be? But Izzy quickly finds out she is in over her head. Beau Towers is not some celebrity lightweight writing a tell-all memoir. He is jaded and withdrawn and, it turns out, just as lost as Izzy. But despite his standoffishness, Izzy needs Beau to deliver. And with her encouragement, his story begins to spill onto the page. They soon discover they have more in common than either of them expected. As their deadline nears, Izzy and Beau begin to realize there may be something there that wasn't there before. So, that sounds really cute. And for a paperback book, this is, with the epilogue, 313 pages. it's got some weight to it. I could give someone a headache by hitting them upside the head with that. Next, this was a complete cover intrigue, and that is Nestlings by Nat Cassidy. There's no place like home. Let's see. Anna and Reed needed a lucky break. The horrifically complicated birth of their first child has left Anna paralyzed, bitter, and struggling with mobility, with her relationship with Reed, and with resentment for her baby. That's got to be very difficult. It sounds very difficult. Let's see. That's about to change with the words any New Yorker would love to hear. Affordable housing lottery. They've won an apartment in the Deptford, one of Manhattan's most revered buildings, with beautiful vistas of Central Park and stunning architecture. Reed dismisses disturbing events and Anna's deep unease and paranoia as the price of living in New York. People are odd, but he can't explain the needle-like bite marks on the baby. Okay, 3 more, and then we're done. These next 2 are on the buy one, get one half off table. And let's go with this next one. I will not read the synopsis of this one because it does say this is a New York Times, #1 New York Times bestseller. But this is later on in the series, and I have yet to pick up the first one, and I think I do own the first book. But because this is part of a series, I will not read the synopsis, but this is A World of Curiosities by Louise Penny. So that's the cover. And where it says it's a world of curiosities, my mind goes to Alice in Wonderland. So I don't know if this will be a play on that or what. But yeah, so there's that one. Okay, the other one on that table was Never Lie by Freida McFadden. And I've picked up, evidently, a couple of these books. Locked Door and definitely The Coworker I have, but I have not read any of them yet. There's just something about the cover and the title that draws me in. So I definitely need to pick up this author's work to see if I actually do like this author. But yeah, so Never Lie. Sometimes the truth kills. Newlyweds Trisha and Ethan are searching for the house of their dreams. They think they found it when they visit the remote manor that once belonged to Dr. Adrian Hale, a renowned psychiatrist who vanished without a trace years ago. But when a violent winter storm traps them at the estate, the house begins to lose its appeal. Stuck inside and growing restless, Trisha stumbles on a collection of audio transcripts from Dr. Hale's sessions with patients. As Trisha listens to the cassette tapes, she learns about the terrifying chain of events leading up to the doctor's mysterious disappearance. With each tape, another shocking piece of the puzzle falls into place, and a web of lies slowly unravels. By the time Trisha reaches the final cassette, the one that reveals the entire horrifying story, it will be too late. Sounds good. And this next one is a romance, and I imagine it's going to be very steamy as well. But I'm excited for this one. And so I have read a football romance, I have read a hockey romance, and now this is another sports romance, and this one is basketball. It says this is a hoops novel, and this is book #1, and it is Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. I love the cover. It says, she kissed the prince and he turned into a fraud. Now her fairy tale is upside down. Iris Dupree meets August West in a sports bar during her last semester of college. It's the conversation of a lifetime and sends sparks flying in every direction. The connection is undeniable, but the timing is all wrong. August is poised for the NBA draft, and Iris belongs to another man, basketball's golden boy and August's longtime rival. The two go their separate ways, but they often recall that electric night and what could have been. While August has embarked in his all-star life with wealth and fame, Iris's perfect public relationship has become a nightmare behind closed doors, a tarnished dream of fool's gold. When August re-enters her life, the world seems briefly bright again. But Iris's darkest nights are not over yet. To survive, she must build her own strength and trust her bond with August can endure after all this time, even when her fraudulent prince has vowed never to let her go. I'm wondering, does this have... Okay, this does have at the front of it a content warning page. Some of these romance books have a playlist. And I'm wondering if this one does too. Usually they're in the front, sometimes in the back. Let's see. Author's note, reading group guide, author Q&A, acknowledgements, about the author. So no, there is no playlist, and that's fine. So I'm going to read the content warning just in case you might be interested in this. I started writing this book in response to a young woman whose journey with domestic abuse was being played out in the media without much care or compassion. I write when I have something to say, and I knew I couldn't say it from a place of judgment and hypotheticals. So I started talking with women who had walked that path. After interviewing many survivors, conducting a ton of research, and doing a lot of soul searching, I hope I understand better. I hope I wrote the story from a place of grace and compassion that wouldn't have been possible without the generosity and vulnerability of those with whom I spoke. With that said, this story contains graphic depictions of intimate partner violence not involving the hero. Please read reviews for guidance and take care of yourself. So, a lot of domestic abuse is going to be a big content thread in this, it sounds like. So yeah, that is Long Shot. Let me know, have you read any of these books? Have you read other books by any of these authors? Is there a book that you got in December that you are really excited to get to? Let me know. Talk to me in the comment section below. And until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book. And I'll talk to you later.